What's that shirt you're wearing?
What?
Is that an Ordo shirt?
It's fucking right, it is.
Let me see.
It's my pajama shirt.
It's got some old Brian Dewey construction.
Yeah.
My
Nice.
signature. Oh, it's a signature shirt.
It was a 60-person bus that we took up to Maine. I had never seen an MMA fight ever. So Jackie talked me into going. Jackie's his sister. But I helped him out with like his fight camp, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And then they start telling me about this crazy like shit fest that all these people go on a bus, they drive up to Maine, they get drunk on the way up there, they watch some people punch other people, and it's a thing. So we went, and it was exactly that. It was a shitstorm. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. That was the night that I realized that I loved him, that I watched him do what he wanted to do, and that was like his passion, and I just knew that I was in love with him. His smile afterwards, just the look on his face, but he was just happy being there and seeing like all the people that go out and support him. It was kind of cool. So.
She's kind of taken more of a liking into martial arts. I mean, not intentionally, but you know, that's my life, so it just happens exactly. So, and I've never really talked with her as far as like my game plans going into fights, or like how's training camp going. Like I'll be like, yeah, it's going good, I feel like this, I feel like that, but never like specifics. And she had mentioned it the other night that like she had asked other people at the gym about my game plan and about what they thought about me in this fight and all that stuff. And so I was like, just ask, you just ask me, because we've just never talked about that. So I told her the game plan, and she just had all these, but what if this happens, and what if this happens, because she's seen so many fights now, she knows anything can happen. So she's asking, what if he does this, what if he does this, and I just had an answer for it all, and it just gave me a big confidence boost to just almost like vocalize, like, tell yourself, you have all the answers to the puzzle.
Yeah, that's
we just got to go put it together.
Yeah. So you've been purposefully game planning and making a game plan, but then when you get in the ring, you're kind of more like a composer, like an art. Like sometimes you're reading the sheet music, and sometimes you're kind of just riffing a solo. How do you differentiate that when you're when you're getting mentally ready? Is a person who executes a play, or someone who like kind of goes in there and feels it out creatively and like?
Well, I don't think it's not possible to go out there and the bell rings and you execute a play and then the fight's over. That just doesn't happen, because there's another variable, your opponent. We have no idea what they're going to do. So you have a game plan, but it's a general game plan. Like, these are the things that I want to try to do. These are the things that I want to try to force him to do, things that I want to avoid. But it's not like I'm going to throw these combinations and I'm going to shoot this takedown and I'm going to do this. It's not, it can't be a set plan. Because when something goes wrong, now you're off your plan, and it's, oh shit, what do I do? And exactly how I approached each fight. Yeah. So I think that'll be a little different this time, because I actually talked to her about exactly what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to force him to do, what I'm trying to avoid, and what I think he's going to do to me.
Yeah. Have you always been like that, like a game planner, or have you kind of felt it out and masterminded this process?
Like kind of get it from my coach back home.
John Fane.
Yeah, Fane was always. I'm going to go out there and fight my fight, but I'm going to be aware of where my opponent can beat me.
Hey, you're hot picking my nose on camera.
So John's a mix of pressure when he needs it, but then smoothness and the ability to scramble. Owen bought John that yoga mat. It's got a Ronin warrior on it.
Right.
And I think that's a perfect description, because John's like just a very kind of free-minded person, goes with the flow, is not too concerned about consequences and outcomes of fights. I mean, he's concerned about consequences in his life. That's why he works so hard,
right.
But when it comes to fighting, he's just a free spirit and lets it go. And I think that's reflected in his grappling style, Yes, Shawn was supposed to fight for the NEF title, and then he was going to be deployed shortly after that. His deployment date got moved up, so he's not actually deployed yet, but he has to go I'm going to butcher this for all you military guys, but he has to go to some training, just basically
Yeah.
briefings and getting him ready to be deployed. I don't really feel like everybody's seen the John Ortolani that I know exists.
Yeah.
100% being more strategic in his striking approach instead of being super aggressive. Like John, a lot of John's early fights, he'd take a punch to give a punch. I should say a carefully calculated, strike or series of strikes to end the match. You see a lot of guys when they hit somebody, they get so excited and they start going in for the kill, and they either get clipped themselves or they get taken down. We saw that in Michael Visa's last fight when he clipped the guy and he got so excited trying to go in for the kill, he ended up getting taken down.
And I think about that all the time. And actually talking about Owen is the way he talked to us when he gave us those yoga mats and stuff, and describing us as he sees us, and that really that Ronin warrior has really been just that thought in my head, just being that warrior all the time. You gotta go through shit, go through hell sometimes, but you gotta get your job done.
Yeah.
No matter what your job is, if you're a savage warrior, or if you're a librarian, sometimes you're going through shit, you gotta stack the books.